to Community Conversations with the Trio, providing heavy doses of edutainment in the areas of health, education, politics, and business since 2011. You can always find us on the web at cctrio.com or get connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. And now, your hosts, the Trio, Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Dove, on Community Conversations with the Trio.
Welcome to Community Conversations with the Trio. This is Dr. G, Sean D, and my main man Michael Dove, and we're here for another installment of edutainment, as you can well expect from this crazy group. What's up, guys?
What's happening now?
What's going on?
A lot happened since our last get-together, and I don't even know where to begin. The president under fire, big time, a lot of, in quotes, scandal stuff going on with Benghazi, the IRS. What's happening? I've even heard stuff about comparing this to Watergate.
Watergate, I just heard that too, yeah.
So what's the deal?
Go ahead, Dove. I don't know, man. It's Dove.
It does seem like it seems like with Watergate though, Nixon was directing all the activities, and then when they kind of fell apart, it took a while to even get back. Remember, he was reelected before they could even finally finalize Watergate and cause him to resign because it was really a tangled web that he had. But this one seems like disparate pieces of the administration kind of doing their own thing.
Right.
And it just happens that all come out at the same time. It's really strange where it seems like this is almost...
well, you're saying the timing, right? Yeah, you started talking about the timing is all like someone had it, was waiting for it.
Yeah, the timing is strange, but even some of the activities seem almost like, what were you thinking? I recognize for the IRS, checking the status of those folks being nonprofit, I think that was really important because of the new law where, these super PACs and all this money coming into
all the money, right.
anonymously. So actually, I didn't see as much problem with them being a little more diligent, but they were going buck wild. I mean, what were they thinking? That these people weren't going to say anything?
Yeah.
And then same thing with Holder and getting these phone records. I mean, anytime you deal with freedom of the press, you have to be very, very cautious.
Yeah.
Now, I like his testimony when he reacted that, no, we weren't trying to get the AP folks, we were trying to get our internal folks who were talking to AP, giving, secret information. But man, you got to be careful. It's Associated Press. You don't think this is going to get out that you're pulling their phone records. All these things seem to have been almost idiotic. The way, like, what were these people thinking? So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it yet. But I'll be interested to see how it all kind of fans out. And then, the timing is great for the, mid-year elections, unfortunately. So we'll see how that impacts everything.
Yeah, I agree with you. The timing is the timing has been interesting, just in the number of stories that have come out of that area. But speaking to his leadership, but I agree with you, main man, is that it wasn't like he was necessarily in on every decision made to target certain the AP, whether it's the AP or whether it's targeting the from an IRS standpoint. It wasn't like they were at his directive. Now, on the other side there's the argument that, well, he is the leader, and therefore, that's a ploy to his judgment in the sense of, if you have a corporation where the people under the president is going buck wild, then the CEO or president would really be under fire as well, right? So I can understand that in theory, but in actuality, that's such a large tentacle environment.
That's exactly where I was going. There's no way he can have his finger on the pulse of every single thing that's going on within those agencies, and that's where he has to have strong leaders who are heading those so that they can help to protect him. Because he's going to be the target. He could be 10 people away from whatever's happening, but folks are going to target him because he's the man in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And this, quite frankly, is an opportunity for the Republicans to try to derail his second term.
Yep.
I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, well, they've already been talking about. Yeah, well, I agree. They've been doing it the whole time, but it's now they have, I think, a little bit more fires. Even here this morning, was Gingrich talking about that they should, as Republicans, should basically march all the Tea Party organizations or all these organizations that were targeted by the IRS should march them, through Congress, get all their testimonies, line them up, and just continually build this case. However, so that's where the focus, they want to put the focus on. However, the latest poll was talking about how the citizens of the United States, those who Congress supposedly represent, really don't care that much about what happened, between the IRS and the Benghazi issues. There is not a lot of, it's not the citizens of the United States really pushing for this kind of information. It's really a handful, a couple handful of individuals in D.C. who are really pushing for it. So I've heard the impeachment word come up, a couple times. So they're looking at, in regards to, having him resign. But I don't see why he would. I don't see why the president would do either. Resign or get to impeachment. I just don't see it.
They did the same thing with Clinton in the sexual improprieties.
Yep.
I mean, they took that. I remember seeing when they went around the world, and asked some of the other leaders, hey, what do you think about this? And some of them, even the leader of France, they laughed. Really, that's what Congress is spending their time?
Yeah.
The guy because he cheated on his wife? I mean, really? That's what Americans have time to do?
Yeah.
And when you really thought about who was trying to impeach Clinton, it wasn't the country.
Right.
It was the Republicans in Congress. It makes no sense. They're not representing the people. They're representing their party. And they consistently do that. And even though this is supposed to be the new Republican Party, they're doing the same old things. They're jumping on stuff. Because I believe the IRS leader, he was appointed by Bush. I don't recall if President Obama had even changed that position when he took office. So that wasn't even his guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just ridiculous, and it's unfortunate that we still are going to deal with this. And I'm curious to see the midterm elections, but even more so, what happens to the next president when it's not the first black president, when it's not a liberal president, and how the political process may change, and maybe for the better, because it's not so much vitriol, so much just me against them, and really about the politics of the country.
Yeah, well, that politics piece is, it's that continuous undertone no matter what anyway, right? But because folks I was in a conversation last week, actually, and talking with some folks, and so we're talking about the Benghazi, the uproar from the Benghazi piece, and the question was raised, well, what really is, do you think, is the driving force behind why the Benghazi piece is being pushed and pushed and pushed? And it came around to the idea that it's really not about this current administration. It's really to impact 2016 for when Hillary Clinton most likely will run for president. But that's really the setup, is that now they can point back to that to say, oh, remember then when she made bad decisions at this point, and they look to actually use that as a lightning rod in the 2016 election. So you got folks who, and it makes sense in theory because, again, what does it really prove for right now? To keep droning on about it at this point, unless you're setting up for something else. And so for me, that kind of makes sense that it would be that way. But again, it's politics, and I'm in school now to get further involved. I don't know why, but there you go. So
I don't know the details of this story, but I saw something earlier on the news about President Obama and the umbrellas. Did y'all see that?
I did not hear about that.
Where they said he breached the Marine umbrella protocol. Did you get anything on that, man?
Yeah, I'm actually put up an article here. I use my Pulse app for my iPad. That's actually really nice. holding umbrellas. I'm not sure what the problem is.
I see it. What they're saying is this is Regulation MC0P1020-34F of the Marine Corps Uniform Regulations, Chapter 3. Wow. A male Marine is not allowed to carry an umbrella while in uniform. There is no provision in the Marine Corps Uniform Regulation Guidelines that allows a male Marine to carry an umbrella. And not only was he carrying it, he was holding it over his head while he was doing his press conference. They said it was a light drizzle. So they're not even supposed to have one.
We talk about umbrellas.
We talking about umbrellas.
We talk about not the game, not the economy. We talk about umbrellas. But what in the world is weird? What are we really coming to? Seriously, why is that news? Just protocol?
It says here, not even the President of the United States can request a Marine to carry an umbrella without the express consent of the Commandant of the Marine Corps, according to their manual.
And who's read that? And who read that in the? Who would know that except for someone who's in it? And you know what? That to me is just nitpicking. There you go. As I couldn't even find a place to put the words. So I know we podcast and we can say whatever we want. But I'm gonna try to keep it clean for a little while. But yeah, that's just straight up nitpicking with it.
But it goes back to the point earlier. At this particular point, they're looking for every single item to drag them down.
I mean, the fact that we spent 4 years trying to figure out where he was born, and he's already the president. Geez, man.
Searching for birth certificates.
Is it that painful to have him as president that we have people that spend time pulling up regulations that the Marines probably don't even know? Right.
Because
I would suspect the Marine would have said something, Mr. President, or something. As the president, he might have, a Marine, I would think would at least say something to the president about, understanding this may not be protocol. And I admit, looking at the picture,
looks awkward.
In hindsight, I'm like, that doesn't look. You don't have your. These people are supposed to be protecting the country, not protecting you from rain.
Yeah.
That's not what they're here to do. You could have got some aides or somebody like that to handle some umbrellas, man. You don't put out fighting men holding umbrellas.
Yeah.
I mean, you hold an umbrella for them. So in hindsight, I mean, when they first said it, I didn't think. When I saw the article on the top of my page here, I was like, what in the world are they talking about umbrellas for? It's top stories. But
Top
in hindsight,
stories.
Hey, Mayman. I love you guys, but it could be pouring down raining on the golf course, and you ask me to hold an umbrella over your head. I ain't doing it. I'm sorry.
You're not gonna look out for us like that?
I'm not doing it.
Oh man.
you gotta remember, we've already had that experience, and we all walked around soaking wet.
True that. But
was that the that time it was pouring? And I probably hit the best golf shot of my whole entire life.
Yeah, and they stopped the tournament.
Yeah.
And I had to go and pick it up. I couldn't even put it in for my birdie.
Avila.
That was
Avila.
Yeah. Best shot. I have since to hit a shot like that. I'm waiting for it to pour again so I can try it again.
So you need the adversity. That's what it is. You need the adversity to really thrive. But and going back to the stories as one of the I don't know if you guys heard about this story, but the on the flip side, during the re-election with with the Republican campaign being here in Tampa, the convention, they had the big debt clock. That was a big prominent component of, to really have the pulse of where the country is not in their opinion. Yet, in the latest projection, they have the budget deficit reaching projected to be one of the lowest level since World War II recovery. Wow. So the piece to that is it's going to drop to about, I think it's $800 billion or something like that. I mean, it's still a heck of a lot of money when you talk about it, but we're at trillions of dollars, in the trillions as far as budget deficit leading in to this time period. But that budget is now projected to, or the deficit is projected to drop to a point that would, as it was put out there, you would think would satisfy any and all Republicans who touted it as their main top issue, with Romney saying that was going to be one of the first things he was coming and tackling. That you think we'd be getting all these accolades. Or not we, I mean, I didn't have anything to do with it, but that the president's administration would be getting accolades for it, yet it's been cricket quiet in regards to that particular component.
Right.
So again, it is not really about what really is best for the country and support. It's really about you're on the wrong team, so whatever you do, it doesn't matter. You can have a spectacular dunk, and I still won't applaud you, because that's I'm gonna still hate on it and say you didn't really jump as high as Jordan did back in the day. So that can't give you points for that kind of thing. So there's always going to be the feeling is there's always going to be something. So you can't satisfy everyone. So then what do you do? All right, if you can't satisfy everyone, what do you do from there? As an administration, what do you do?
Yep.
Exactly. One of the things that you see though, with the 24-hour media too, it is amazing how quickly things. Remember we were going sequester. Remember sequester was like the world was going to end. It was like 2000. It was like 2K. I remember January, February, early March. The world was going to end.
Yeah, the Y2K, computers and clocks.
I haven't heard rat cat talk about sequester in the past month. Why? Because they jumped on to something else. It's just, I don't know. It is really disconcerting, because it could be because we have access to more information now. So we're thinking that, there's more attacks on the president because we see them, we hear them, we read them. Mm-hmm. But it's because we can, we have so many channels of information now. Right. Versus this happens all the time in Washington. We just don't hear about half of it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yep, indeed. Hey guys, can we switch to a local story that has made national headlines? And that's the Tampa doctor's son that's accused of killing his unborn child. Did you see that one?
That was the story I was going to bring up. So yeah, I saw that and showed my wife. I was like, wow.
So this is one of those you just wonder, what was he thinking? Well, we kind of know what he was thinking. He didn't want the baby.
Yeah, it was just trying to get out of a situation.
Yeah. So. But to use his dad's influence, the prescription notepads, forged his dad's name to give his girlfriend a prescription for Cytotec, which was mislabeled as amoxicillin, and told the woman that his dad wanted her on antibiotics to clear up something that was going on. And it actually was a drug that ended up killing the baby, the unborn baby.
And how old is his son?
How old is he?
We're talking like teenager type
20-something?
Yeah, I think it's 28. I'm going to pull it up here. I believe it was 28.
Yeah, 28.
He's grown, he's not a young kid.
28.
28.
And they said this could put him in prison for life.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's murder. Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's like some new stuff.
Yeah.
You kind of murdered before you were born.
Well, that's a lot going on too there, because you got the prescription side of the equation. So the medical.
That already.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. So you're already copping to that for some jail time in regards to that alone. And then now it's just, it's like a OJ move. Now you're just compounding things on top of that, one after the other. But I don't want to get into OJ yet. We will save OJ, but again, it just compounds everything as far as this guy. And like you said, the reason, what really was so bad, or the anticipation. You're 28 years old. What was it that you're just saying? This is the only way that it's got to be. Right? Now, maybe it wasn't the only. Maybe he had a conversation with her. She wanted to have the baby. He didn't. He figured, so in his calculations, here's the next best thing of what I have access to, access and time and resources. So, but that's an unfortunate situation there.
Now the question is the dad liable in any way because of this? Because the son, I think, worked in the dad's office.
Yeah, but come on.
I'm just saying.
I'm sure there's some liability because all doctors probably have under malpractice or whatever insurance. They recognize that in their office, their workers could, go against HIPAA or something. That they probably have some kind of risk insurance or something. I don't think he has some criminal. Because if someone robs his office and takes the pad, how's he respond? He got robbed. So I would hope that he's not. As long as he didn't do it knowingly, that he gets in trouble for that. We got enough problems with how much it costs to go to the doctor. We don't need, to be worried about that as well.
Yeah, just add on to it. But yeah, that's. I would say that would be tough if the father, if the dad, the doctor, the actual doctor, was charged with anything, unless it was some severe negligence on his part. Right. But I would be surprised in just the details of what you have there of what that would be. Actually, I'd be interested in hearing folks' comments about that as well. Have this story. The story will be up on the Facebook page at the CC Trio over on Facebook. You can always tweet us, of course, at the CC Trio as well. But I'd be interested in hearing what folks would think about that story too.
Yeah, it's interesting. He posted on his Facebook page a day before his indictment, "Please pray for me." This was the 28-year-old.
Yeah. That's all they can help him now.
Yeah, well, there you go. But it could be maybe there's a mental condition in there.
He should have been asking for that before he gave the woman the pills.
Yeah, just being a little bit of devil's advocate, because there's no reason for him to have done that. A right reason to do that. You also, there's probably another side of the story that we don't know about. What brings a man to that level? Did he think that an abortion, using an abortion pill, was not, illegal or not murder? Maybe he misunderstood what he was doing. Also, relationship with the woman. One of the things that I've always been a firm believer, it's the woman's body. It's the woman. She didn't get pregnant by herself, but once she is, it's really kind of on her what she wants to do about it. Just my personal thought. However, I've seen situations where the man just was out of the decision. It wasn't even in the process of doing it. It really wasn't all his decision, and then he just got to live with it. And what happens there? What is the man? The man really has no real defense there. Just got to take whatever comes. So I'm curious about the whole story, but nevertheless, at least now we have a precedent. And if he gets convicted and gets life or worse, at least now people know that you can't do that.
Yeah,
but
I doubt if it was a situation where he misunderstood it. It sounded to me like he understood clearly.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. But now let me. So have you heard this story? KKK passes out flyers in East Orange County. This is in Florida. Christmas, Florida. A local Ku Klux Klan group left flyers in the East Orange County neighborhood asking people to join. This happened this past Monday. I'm not talking years ago. I'm talking this past Monday. The group is based out of the Christmas area. Members left flyers in the Ashford Grand subdivision. So neighbors notified folks they were alarmed by the flyers. Spokesperson, the KKK spokesperson said the flyers are for informational purposes regarding the minority invasion in our area.
Oh my goodness.
End quote.
Minority invasion.
Minority invasion. Now this is on the heels. Well, this was in Christmas, Florida. And this is on the heels of, if you didn't hear earlier this week, or midweek actually, I think this came out, that in the next 4 to 5 years, that the white majority would no longer be in the next 4 to 5 years. So
you're talking about the United States or in Florida?
In the United States, it would
they
be.
said I took a course about 19. Let's just say, not say my age, but when I'm my associates, let's just say 1991 or two, and I'll never forget. I always remember what she said. Back then, part of that coursework, it was a diversity class because in education you're mandated to have courses in diversity. And they said back then, it was already predicted that the Latin American population would surpass the white population in 2020. That's what it was. So now I think what you're telling me, it's either right on time or it's going to be a little early.
Yep. So
it's like early.
Christmas is coming early, I guess.
I didn't.
Christmas is coming early. You made it funny.
You like that one?
I didn't even know the KKK was still active. I thought they had died off.
I think the sad part about the KKK, when they were active, that really, to me, meant that minority and diversity was active. If that makes sense, right? They needed to have something to act against, because part of the KKK is, this threat, right? That's what the Christmas thing is. There's a threat. That's how the KKK came about after the Civil War. We're threatened by these minorities, so you need to, get up and fight and throw on these sheets and everything. When there was no threat, was nothing to fight, and to me that's a problem. And if you notice in the late '90s, the 2000s, what really was going on, that they needed to stand up and we were killing each other, at least for the African Americans and Hispanics, with gang violence and all that. We were dropping out of high school more and more, not graduating college. They couldn't. We weren't really out there. Jesse Jackson and all some of these other folks that were supposed to take up the mantle of Martin Luther King really didn't, materialize. They had nothing to fight. So they looked kind of stupid marching in. What? I think the last thing they could fight was making Martin Luther King a federal holiday. So they had nothing to do. And I think so they probably just went underground and went about their business. Now I guess they're finding something to do because we got a black president and now we have this population change. I believe it's you guys that told me that even the Asian American population is been growing. So now they're waking back up. So I almost think that's a good thing.
But they are active. So, but I'm with you, Dov. Yeah, it becomes and even as President Obama came into his first term, that was one of the rallying cries as well. That's when guns went on gun sales went on the rise, had a spike at that point too, and again it was the takeover is on the way kind of thing. So it continues on in regards to hate will never dissipate. Hate will remain, but it's just I agree. It's just kind of shocking to continually see it. And now it's more blatant. I think some will argue that not as blatant as it used to be, but there's a definite rise and just prominence and what's happening. So
I would think the major or the bigger issue would be the racism that is hard to see. Ku Klux Klan, they have their hoods, the white sheets, and so you can see that. But it's sort of that almost hidden racism, where you have people who are not being advanced in their positions when they should be, people who have control over what happens to you and may not make those decisions based on your race or your ethnicity, your sexual orientation, people who are in positions of power who have control over your destiny in a lot of cases. I think that is much more dangerous than the white sheets.
Yeah. And because at some point, like you said, those individuals who were out in the sheets in the back in the day and 50s, 60s, and 70s as well, they're in positions now. They just put on a suit and tie kind of thing. That's what it was talking about. Talking about book stuff, main man. couple of readings I saw where they were talking about that same idea, is that they're now, in our education system, they're in the justice system, they're in corporate America, they're, and some of them have been before, but now they're just in more prominent positions. And so now it's being, that same kind of racism is being done from the inside out. So it's still, again, hate don't dissipate.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, but it's everywhere. Americans, we get so insulated sometimes. Not that I've traveled worldwide, like Dr. Gia John, and I didn't go to Hawaii every year for all that. But racism is not just here. I mean, I think we feel it a little bit more because we have a free culture, and we have this culture supposed to be of inclusion. That's what built America, blah, 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 blah. But there's still racism all around the world in different aspects. I mean, I know that even in Africa, it was like what we call over here kind of almost reverse racism, where the Africans were pushing off the white farmers and white landowners that came back when they were being oppressed, and it was decolonization. But it was 100-some years ago. But now the Africans are going, no, you're getting out of here. So they probably feel the same way as that minorities feel over here, and it's just the other, the color line is spun around. So it's just one of those human things that unfortunately we have to live with.
Yeah.
So I have another story I want to cover, but I heard Sean talk about OJ. We can't put this off any longer.
OJ.
You mentioned OJ, Sean. What's
what's the problem? The thing is, if you take the OJ factor out of it, think about what he said. He said the part of the testimony you heard, and just what I understood happened. Okay, these guys supposedly in the hotel room have things that belong to OJ.
Mm-hmm.
They belong to OJ. They were never sold. They were never given. They belong to OJ. They're not just like medals, but what I understood, they're like pictures of his family. These are his personal items. Okay, he went to go get them back. I mean, think about that. If Joe Blow, someone in the hotel has his stuff, he grabs a few of his buddies, right? Because you don't know how many people in there. You don't know if they have a gun. You don't know what's going on, but it's your stuff. You can open up a photo album and see a picture of you. Okay? And I go to the bar. Somehow they let him in. So remember, this didn't go off the way based on. Remember, he didn't kick in the door. They opened the door, let him in. Hey, where's my stuff? Oh, I see it hidden over there. They hid the stuff understood in the bathroom, whatever. I see it. I want my stuff. Well, you're not going to get your stuff. Okay? Hey, guys, watch the door. Let's call the police. That's, kind of how it should have went down, but of course it didn't go down that way. Baze, someone has a gun. Next thing you know, OJ's doing 33 years. And I'm thinking, if it wasn't OJ, the police, just seeing how police, they come to the room, what's going on? Hey, this guy's got, oh, no, that's right, they had left. The guys in the hotel room, I think, called the police. They came in here with guns and all this.
Mm-hmm.
To get to the point is, I don't see OJ doing 33 years for that. If his boy had a gun, then his boy needs to go to jail for whatever laws carrying a concealed weapon in a casino entail. He had the gun. Don't tell me what OJ told him had a gun, because I'll tell you what my grandma used to tell me. If Sean told you to jump off a bridge, would you jump? I don't care if OJ told him to bring the gun. That has nothing to do with it.
Right.
You know the law. You have the gun. Okay, OJ went in there and threatened him or whatever. Okay, there's maybe some laws against that. I'm sure it's a misdemeanor or whatever. But somehow it's circled around that he's the ringleader and he brought guns. And I'm thinking, guys, did they ever forget he was going to get his stuff? But
main man, come on now. You're O.J. Simpson. You know what your name stands for. If you're smart, you call the police. You stay there and say, "Hey, I've got the situation going. I need some help." You don't waltz yourself up in there with your with all your boys and we're going to take our stuff back. If you O.J. Simpson, come on.
Because again, come on, son.
Come on, Dr. G. Someone took your favorite driver.
They could have it.
And and your son, and y'all going to get that driver.
No, we not.
Oh, nobody.
They could have the dang driver.
Yeah, well, but again, they're not convicting OJ over what he did in this particular situation. They're convicting OJ from 1997, right? So it's not. Here was an opportunity presented. Yeah, this is what is an opportunity presented to say, there's a window of opportunity that we can make this stick. So let's stick it to him, and there you go.
And that's my point. He knows that. So why is he going to waltz his butt up in there in a situation that is a no-win situation? So he get his stuff back.
I thought he said he'd been drinking. Didn't he say he had been drinking or something like that?
So see, we're back to alcohol again. See, that was last week. We talked about that. Yeah, alcohol. That alcohol. we talked about that last week.
It all circles back to alcohol.
But the thing, regardless of that, the whole point is, I agree with you, Shanti, wholeheartedly. Like, I do not see anything that says 33 years. If he had the gun, well, absolutely. He didn't have the gun.
Yeah.
His friends had the gun. And when you see him meet his friends at the doors, because they keep showing that clip over and over, he didn't check them for gun. They greeted, and they all turned around and walked. How the hell does he know what they got? Doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, come on, man, 33 years. Now, why he's trying to get a new trial, saying he had a terrible attorney? I'm like, okay. Where was this when you were, getting convicted? I mean,
you didn't know it was going down like that when it was happening?
So I don't know about all that, but I just think OJ, definitely to your point, Dr. G, he needs to go somewhere, and some community with a golf course on it, and just lock the gate and just stay there. And he needs to do kind of like Mike Tyson. You remember how Mike Tyson kind of disappeared for a while? Remember he was doing some crazy stuff. He disappeared for a while. Now he's got this big Broadway show. If you just disappear for a while, be quiet. Let it kind of go. Then you can go out and do some of these silly things. And kind of like Lindsay Lohan. She doesn't know how to just sit down and be quiet.
Stop getting in trouble. That's how you do it.
Just don't go to the party. Good Lord.
There's some other folks who can learn from that lesson too, right there. So I'm sure there's some local folks here who can, you just need to go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
Just go sit down.
Just go sit down. You need a breather. You need to take a breather.
Community conversation. Just go sit down.
And so,
end the conversation.
So instead of him,
some of these Republicans go sit down. Just go sit down.
So like you said, man, instead of him having an opportunity to go into his little golf community, play golf every day, he's having to worry about bending over, getting his doggone soap. I mean, come on. just because he made a stupid mistake.
Exactly.
Now, and he loved golf. Can you imagine? He must be going crazy.
I know you would be.
I absolutely would be. No question.
It's just one of those things where. Now again, if he has, this trial is about the idea of getting, not being well represented, and I think even some of the language this week was talking about how he was, they still had him handcuffed in the courtroom, so he wasn't able to take good notes. So he was able to, I think he won the case in order to get one hand uncuffed so he can take notes during the trial and stuff. So it's bizarre. It's bizarre. But it's been a circus. It's been a circus since day one, though. That's the whole thing. OJ has been a circus since day one when he came across the screen interrupting football, or actually it was an NBA game on, playoff game on, interrupted that.
Oh, you remember?
I do. I remember sitting in the room like, what the heck are we looking at, dude? White Bronco, who is this? But again, ever since that moment, it's been an absolute circus. So this just expands on that at this point. So,
but just to tie it up real quick, what we just earlier talked about, we talked about racism, and one of the things about the OJ trial was, the kind of race card and all this kind of things. And I remember exactly where I was when they announced that he was acquitted. And the black people in the bank, I was actually in a banking center. They were cheering and shouting and everything, and the other cultures in the banking center were not really happy. And I kind of remember that whole vibe. And I remember looking back at the trial, and one of the things I thought that was, kind of that hidden racism. And when I saw I don't know if you guys, did you see the mock-up of the killing? They actually had a cartoon of the killing, like how it could have happened, how it was possible.
I don't, but
and I'm like,
I'm sure they did. They do crazy stuff, but
yeah, and I was like, how is OJ a ninja? I mean, they showed him killing 2 people in 30 seconds, and I thought, if I was in the courtroom and I saw that, before I wasn't sure what he did or not. I don't know. I'm like, it had to be more than one person. As soon as I saw that video, I'm like, he'd have to have trained to do that. I mean, when you watch it, you go, you've got to be kidding me. And that's the only time through the trial that said, are these, because he's black, they think he's like super, you had to see it. I probably is on YouTube, so you have to see it. Because it basically showed him somehow leaping out of the bushes, taking care of a couple of swipes of Nicole, chasing down Goldman, pulling him back by his pants, taking care of him, going back to his wife, taking care of her, doing all that, then escaping, leaving on a couple footprints and nothing else. I'm like, oh, come on.
hey, the glove didn't fit.
So
The glove didn't fit.
So are we sitting here talking about the O.J. Simpson trial again?
Again. Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to Lindsay Lohan.
Hey guys, one last thing before we wrap it up. And the reason I want to bring this story up real quick is we're going to have a great weekend here in Tampa Bay. It's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. And oftentimes when you have great weather like this, people are out at the beaches, they're in pools, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sure you saw this story. Majority, are you sitting down, Mayman?
I'm sitting down.
Majority of pools are contaminated by poop, the CDC says.
Who really didn't know that?
Apparently I didn't. Because if I knew that, I wouldn't be getting my butt up in them pools. Particularly them hotel pools. I won't be getting in there anymore.
Yeah.
Researchers at the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, found genetic material from E. coli bacteria in, get this, 58% of public pools that they tested during the summer of 2012. So this shows that swimmers frequently introduced, that's a nice way of saying they expelled fecal material into pools, which could spread germs to other people. I'm just telling you, man, before you head out this weekend to go get in the pool or.
Well, that's interesting you say that because my children are in swim lessons. So they will be in the pool at 9 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I don't get in with them, and now I probably will not, even if I was. No, I've heard that before. I've even heard. I literally just heard this yesterday that it wasn't the CDC, but it was some professors doing a study that they found the same types of bacteria that are found inside and underneath toilet seats. The same type of bacteria, they found them in beds.
In beds?
At the same time. Yep, in bed, in people's beds, people's hotels, people's bed. They did a test. So, in other words, the whole point of even the whole article on the show was the fact that bacteria and germs are everywhere, all the time, always around us. So, just be aware. When people say, "Oh my God," the dog's mouth. You've heard this, right? A dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's mouth. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that?
Yep. There's a study that says that parents should allow their kids, the babies, to put the pacifiers, like let the dog clean it off if it falls on the floor. Yep. So, but dog's mouth is cleaner.
Yeah.
I would love to try that with my wife. I mean, for your poor son.
That was an actual study. I'm not making that up. That's an actual study.
Oh, that's a new one.
So they're saying that a lot of people think the chlorine and other disinfectants kill the germs instantly, and that's not what's happening. But they do give you some tips here. So, Mayman, here are some tips for your kids.
Okay.
It's important that
stay at the pool.
That swimmers shower before they get into the pool.
Not happening.
The kids ain't gonna like that. No.
No.
And this one's kind of common sense, but it happens all the time. That they not swallow the water that they swim in. Okay?
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're drinking that as a cocktail. And then finally, which, this one is just so stupid. avoid swimming when you have diarrhea. Yes, I said
Yeah, that's what I do. Have a little bit of stomach issue. Let's go for a swim.
That's how you calm it down.
And then they say, they tell parents if you have young children to take them on a bathroom break at least every hour, or check their junk every 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay, well that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fair.
That's what I want.
Make sure you do that at your kids' swim lessons there, Doug.
Well, getting them to do the shower is going to be a little difficult, but I'll try it. The swallowing water, I have no problem with that. They're not at that level yet. They're scared to put their head underwater. And then as for checking their junk every hour, they're old enough they can do that.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Good man. Good
No
man.
junk checking here.
Good smart man you are.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so maybe she'll do that. I don't know.
All right. Right.
So, another interesting installment of Community Conversations with the Trio.
Y'all crazy.
Dr. G, Sean D, and my main man, Michael Dove. And main man, we'd love to get a report on the pool stuff next time we get together. So,
absolutely. I will bring my chemistry kit and do some thing and get back to you.
there you go. All right.
All right. Appreciate it.
Peace out.
Catch us on Facebook and iTunes and Twitter at the CC Trio, as always, and of course on the web, cctrio.com.
And the handsome guy in the middle, that's Dr. G. I'm just letting you know.
just clarification. All right.
I know I'm a Denzel Washington lookalike, so that's okay.
Nice.
Wow.
That's probably a good place to end it right there. he's just lying. All right, later, fellas.
Peace.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed another edutaining episode of Community Conversations with the Trio. To keep the conversation going, stay connected with us by visiting cctrio.com and following us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. Community Conversations with the Trio. Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Dove.